If you're an experienced AEM developer, you know the daily grind, right? Hunting through the UI, writing those little one-off scripts just to get something done, wrestling with APIs. But what if you could just talk to it? In this explainer, we were diving into something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, and we're going to see how it's forging this whole new conversational way to work with AEM.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why we even need something like MCP, the problem it's solving. Then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of its architecture. After that, we'll translate all that tech talk directly into your AEM world. And finally, we'll look at the really cool stuff you can start doing with it right now.
All right, let's kick things off with our first section, a new way to work. This is really all about getting away from those repetitive manual tasks that, let's be honest, can slow down even the sharpest AEM developers.
I mean, does this sound familiar? You need to quickly check the status of a bundle, or maybe update a configuration across a few different instances, and suddenly you're either clicking through a maze of screens, or you're firing up your code editor to whip up another throwaway script. It's that constant little friction, and it's exactly where this whole story really gets started.
And this is the hero of our story, the Model Context Protocol. At its heart, it's an open standard. Think of it like a universal language, a bridge that lets AI assistants and other applications talk to all sorts of external systems, like your files, your databases, and, you guessed it, AEM, in a way that's totally structured and predictable.
You know, this analogy is just perfect. It nails the whole idea. Remember before USB-C, you had a different proprietary cable for every single device? It was a complete mess. Well, MCP is doing for AI what USB-C did for our gadgets. It creates one single powerful standard. So you, as a developer, build an integration once, and it just works everywhere. For anyone in an enterprise environment, this is a huge deal. It means way less time spent on brittle, custom code, and it reduces that dreaded vendor lock-in.
And here's the before and after picture. On the left, that's the old world, this tangled web of custom connectors, one for every tool, one for every AI. It's a nightmare to maintain. Then on the right, you've got the MCP world. It's clean. It's a reusable integration that can plug into an entire ecosystem of AI clients. It's all about making things efficient and scalable.
So now that we get the big idea, let's peel back the layers and look at the technical architecture. We're going to break down the three key pieces that make this whole system tick: the host, the client, and the server. This diagram really gives us that bird's eye view. Over on the left, you've got the host. That's the AI application you're actually talking to, like Claude or a smart IDE. The host then uses these MCP clients to connect to one or more MCP servers, and each of those servers acts like a specialized gateway, giving the AI access to things like a file system, a database, or a web API. So, to put it simply, the host is the brain. It's the AI you're interacting with. The server is like the hands. It's a service that can actually do things on an external system. And the client? That's just the communication line, the channel connecting one host to one server. Now, this right here, this is what makes MCP so incredibly powerful. It's not just a simple one-and-done request and response kind of thing. MCP allows for a stateful, bidirectional data flow. That means the AI and the tool can have a real, ongoing conversation, passing information back and forth. And that is absolutely critical when you're trying to pull off complex multi-step tasks. So when you're using an MCP server, it can offer up three main things. You've got tools, which are basically functions the AI can run, like install package. You have resources, which are data sources it can read, like your AEM log files. And then you have prompts, which are these handy templates that help guide both you and the AI to get a task done more easily. Okay, so we've covered all the theory. Now for the really important part. How does any of this actually apply to you, the AEM developer? Let's connect these dots and bring it right into your day-to-day workflow. Think of this slide as your Rosetta Stone, your cheat sheet. That abstract host we were talking about, that's just the AI tool you're probably already using, like the Cursor IDE or the Claude app. The client, that's just a little plugin or setting inside that tool. And the server, that's the official service Adobe hosts that knows how to talk to AEM. See? It's a direct translation. And you can work with it in two main ways. The human-centric approach is like having a co-pilot. The AI suggests actions, but you're in the driver's seat. You have the final say. Then there's the agentic model, which is more like an autopilot. You give the AI a goal, and it figures out all the steps to get there. Perfect for those really complex, automated workflows. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room for any enterprise developer: security. The answer here is actually really simple. MCP is not some kind of backdoor.
It completely and totally respects AM's existing security model. The AI operates with your permissions. If you can't do something in the UI, the AI can't do it through MCP. Period.
And that brings us to our last section, from clicks to conversation. Let's get down to brass tacks and look at the real-world tasks you can start simplifying with this, like right now.
So using community tools like the AM Dev MCP server, you can do all of this. Instead of clicking around the OSGI console, you can literally just type list all inactive bundles or show me the config for the DayCQ mail service. You can even run Groovy scripts or search your logs across multiple AM instances at the exact same time just by asking. And look, this isn't some niche experimental tech that might disappear next year. MCHP is a widely adopted open standard. It's already backed by all the major AI platforms you see here. And that means you can build your integration once, and then you get to pick the AI client that works best for you, without being stuck in one single company's ecosystem.
At the end of the day, this is the fundamental change. We're moving away from thinking about the procedure, the exact clicks or the specific lines of code we need to write. Instead, we're focusing on our intent. You just say what you want to accomplish, and the AI, using MCP, handles the rest.
And that really sets the stage for what's next. I mean, today, it's about making common tasks easier. But imagine tomorrow, when an AI can chain these simple tools together to handle a complex deployment, or troubleshoot a performance problem, or maybe even build out an entire AM component for you from just a single prompt. Now that is the really exciting frontier that MCP is opening up.